Morning, guys. Today I am out near Wood, South Dakota, a little north of Valentine, Nebraska, and I am headed out to Dakota Pure, which is also known as Antelope Creek Ranch or Osmonds Cattle Company. Of course, they mainly raise bison now, but they also raise organic corn, which yesterday we were out there looking at the corn crop. Doesn't look that great. And most of it, they pretty much cut their corn for silage at this point and just left some strips. Anyway, so we come out here this morning, shoot some. We've got, yesterday we filmed the National Bison Association Field Day, where we learned a little bit about some of the land management that's going on out here. For the next couple days, I'm just hanging out with the Osmonds and seeing a little more.
Continue on 286th Avenue for 16 miles. Welcome to South Dakota.
Now I'm in South Dakota. Anyway, as usual, we'll take you along for the ride.
We'll grab the loader for you and bring it across, so yeah, go ahead and weigh it up. This stuff will be lighter, so it's heavy? Huh. They can kind of tell just by how the truck drives if it's heavy or light. That's Flippy. That's Flippy. He's from South Africa. He's been with us. He's come off and on the last about 4 years. He actually owned his own trucking business in South Africa, so he's really good, like really good employee. But and people probably won't hardly believe this, but he had to stop the business because he had about 6-7 trucks on the road.
Yeah.
About once a month, one of his trucks would be parked overnight, and the driver would wake up, all the wheels and tires would be off his truck, stolen. You know,
that's crazy.
It was just insane, yeah. So, but yeah, he's really good. Then LaFrey's coming with the second load right now. So I'm gonna jump in here, this loader, take it across the road because they're gonna unload these bales across the road. And then if you would just want to cruise this over there and pick me up. So.
All right.
Single bales, there was so there's some first on there.
Yeah, because the first cut shouldn't weigh that much.
No, it's definitely not all first cut.
So these bales, a lot of our hay is on separate, quarters that are ways away. So how far? These ones came from South of Mission, right? Yeah. So South of Mission, so that's 10 miles. Probably 10 miles. So all these ones are further away chunks of hay ground that can't be utilized for grazing or farming, whatever. So we put up all the hay, then we haul it either back here or down south, down there to where other locations are. But so we like to try to weigh almost everything, to get the feel of what we have. And for feeding this winter, we'll also do protein samples on this to see what protein quality is, because to know how much hay you need to put in each spot just for general diet. So you just weigh these. What these weigh? A bale? 1582, which is way more than I thought they were gonna weigh. So when we put those up, it's pretty dry, but I guess it just must have held a little bit more moisture than I thought. That's really good. So, and now we'll stack this in its own line right out back here. We're gonna keep these ones here because it might be some of the first hay that we'll grind, but our stockpiles across the road that we're delivery. We pretty much weigh everything in and out, whether it's crop, grains, especially buffalo, it all gets weighed in and out. So this scale is a big investment, but it's definitely paid for itself. Two different classes of hay here. He's on the top, and these back few bales is second cutting. It's from the same field. Second cutting alfalfa. You can see it's just got more leaf retention and just higher quality. It's, you know, the higher quality, you know, the shorter, drouthier alfalfa packs a little bit more punch to it. So if the plants are shorter, there's more leaves on the plant. So it packs a lot more leaves into a bale, so that means more weight. We also got this put up with a dew on. For the first cutting, those bales will be lighter. You know, they got rained on. We didn't get it put up with as good a dew on, so it lost more leaves, more stemmy. Won't have as much protein, won't have as many nutrients, won't be as digestible to the animals. Yeah, we have all different classes of hay. You know, we got some hay there. It's just some kind of junky millet. Got rained on a little bit. So we keep everything separate. The guys weigh everything, kind of know where we're at. Just the more information you have, the better. The more information you can track, keep track of. I'm Scott Osmond. This is my lovely wife, Caitlin Osmond. We're here near Mission, South Dakota on the Rosebud Sioux Indian Reservation. We call our place a couple different things. Osmond and Cattle, that's what's historically been called. And also more recently, Antelope Creek Bison. And we also have Dakota Pure Bison. That's our meat company of all of our animals that we raise off Antelope Creek Bison and the Heim Bison Ranch are going to Dakota Pure, and we offer that, market that meat online, wholesale, retail, all over the country now. We are primarily a organic farming and bison operation. Our bison operation goes all the way from the cow-calf all the way through to the meat industry. So we take it vertically integrated bison industry. We focus on genetics, genetics, regenerative grazing, rotational grazing, regenerative grazing, whatever you want to call it. Those are our big focus. That's where we're very fortunate we got in the bison business to get into higher quality genetics, and then we've been farming organically since 1997. My family, I'm the fourth generation. Yep. I'm fourth generation. My family settled in this area. You know, it would have been, they settled in the county over in the, you know, teens and 20s. And then my grandpa was the youngest boy. And so he actually got sent out here to the reservation where we're at now. Because he didn't have a wife, wasn't married. So they had, my great grandpa bought one quarter. There was a deeded quarter, and they also had a tribal range unit attached to a lease. And so the first few summers that my grandpa was out here, he actually rode the fence. That would have been the 1940s. He was the fence. There was no fence, so he rode the section markers to keep the cows within the grazing boundaries of the lease they had. So that's how we ended up here. So we farm and ranch with my mom and my dad, Mike and Darla Osmond. When did we get married? We got married in 2018.
Correct.
And so Kate moved back here to the farm, and she brought the ranch, and she works here full time. We have two boys.
Ted and Cal, Theodore and Calvin. Ted is 2, he'll be 3 in October, and Cal just turned 1 the other day. So they like to join in, ride in the tractor, all the things with Dad.
They like to check buffalo a lot.
Yep, probably their favorite thing to do.
Yeah, so we go out checking buffalo, so yeah, that's a little bit about us, I guess. So yeah, we went to move this herd. We're gonna move them under the road, but they really weren't you could tell there was something going on the backside, on the east side of the pasture. LCO kind of went over with the four-wheeler because we mostly try to lead our animals with the cake, and they usually generally know when it's time to move, but we're trying to move them to a pasture that we've never moved bison to before. LCO kind of goes around the backside to apply a little bit of pressure. Well, one of the bulls had just jumped over one of the cross fences into the other pasture. I don't know why. Just being ornery. He knew that today was the day we were gonna move him. So when you're trying to move animals and they see one of their buddies back in the other pasture, they're like, well, why is he over there? Maybe we should be over there. So the entire herd stayed on that side. So me and LCO jumped on a couple four-wheelers because we couldn't get the herd to move. Usually you have to have two guys in a situation like that if there's one animal on one side of the fence and the other animal's on the other side, because if you open up the gate and go to get the animal in, the other animals will try to run out, or vice versa. You know, you open it up and you can't get him to go, or he misses the gate and he runs down the fence. So I opened up the gate, threw the gate open quick, and I kept the herd back from going through the open gate. And LCO swung around, swept around, and got behind him. He knew he wasn't supposed to be out. We got him back in. The piece of land across the road from our house, it's across Hidden Timber Road, it's a paved road. We just recently fenced it for bison, so there hasn't been bison on there for probably 170 years, would be, or longer. It's hard to know. And what we actually did is so we don't have to cross the road over top where there's a bridge right below our house, Hidden Timber Bridge. So we actually built a lane underneath it so they cross through. But animals have never crossed through before, so that's gonna be interesting. That's what we're trying to get on film, to see how they interact with the bridge and things like that. And there's a creek there, so there's a lot of aspects to it of how do we get, you can't drive the pickup this way because of the trees in the creek. That is kind of why we're doing Dakota Pure Bison as well. We're trying to get bison back on the land. Moving those animals across for the first time, the bison will be setting foot on that land in however many, 200 years. It is a big deal, getting the land back in touch with bison.
Watch out, bud. It's close enough.
Yeah. Going off of you.